So I was working on a new mod for an upcoming video, and I happened to notice something rather interesting about Oblivion's faces. You're probably already aware of how absurd they are, with them stretching to unreasonable proportions, and just getting one to look like a normal human face is a nightmare. But you might not be aware of why they are so awful. Body morphs like this are actually a pretty cool piece of technology, and surprisingly a lot more simple than you'd think. The sliders themselves are built off something called shape keys, where you alter the original mesh to match whatever change you're looking for, whether that's enlarging the nose or widening the chin. And because these body morphs are additive, no matter what else you do to your character, the change you made with your shape key will always factor in. And most of the time, this works pretty well. As a matter of fact, as long as all your shape keys still resemble a human being, no matter what you change about your character, they will look pretty good. And it's why Skyrim's characters are all relatively normal looking. Oblivion's, however, are a little different. Because like I said, as long as your shape keys resemble a human being, it'll be fine. But for some reason, Oblivions do not. We've all seen how ridiculous these characters can get inside the character creator, but they actually can get a lot worse than that. If you happen to pull up the construction set and start making a character from there, you'll notice that the body sliders are way bigger. Originally, before I knew anything about anything, I assumed it was because the sliders just move parts of the mesh itself in a certain direction. So of course it would make sense that they would get pretty ridiculous. And that would also explain why the players need some sort of clamp to prevent them from going too far. But that is not the case. Now that I know better, going back and looking at this, I am honestly astonished at how this possibly happened. Because whoever was making the shape keys for these faces clearly was not that bothered about it. Instead of making some minor adjustments that would be realistic for a human being, they just went all out, grabbing a few vertices and just dragging it to wherever. It's possible they did this so that way all the characters in Hackdirt could look bizarre and inhuman, or maybe this was just some placeholder that they originally intended to change later and just didn't. Honestly, I'd be more likely to believe that one, because the shape key morphs themselves don't look particularly thought out. Now, as I'm saying this, I think it's important to remember that this in itself does not mean that whoever did this wasn't skilled. There's a lot of things that go into game development, and you never really know why something ended up being the way it is. Nobody intends to make an awful game, except for maybe the Goat Simulator guys, I don't know. But even when you are the MVP of making video games and you put in all of your effort, sometimes you're just gonna make some garbage. And occasionally, that garbage makes its way into a video game and everybody says, I guess that's good enough. Besides, would you really even want it any other way? I know I wouldn't. If you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because I got something upcoming that I think you're really gonna love. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.